course of a week, what percentage of content that a user sees is considered potentially harmful or distressing content?
Congressman, we work with a lot of experts on this. Even before we set the 60-minute time limit for under 18s, if you spend too much time on our platform, you can try it. If you spend too much time, we will actually send you videos to tell you to go out and get some air and get off the platform.
What percentage of content that a user sees is considered potentially harmful?
I would need to follow up with my team and get back to you on that. If that's okay.
Ballpark.
I would need to follow up with my team.
So are teenagers in particular shown more distressing content?
The opposite is true. We actually put in more restrictions to make sure that our teenagers get a better experience.
Are expected or new parents shown more distressing content?
I know of many parents, including one I met recently, who actually use our platform to find communities, to connect with other parents and learn a lot more. I've heard amazing stories of creators who have difficulties, and
Reclaiming my time. Are individuals with eating disorders shown more distressing content?
We do not. We remove all content that glorifies eating disorders, and we have worked with experts to look at certain content that may not inherently be harmful, like diet trends, and make sure that we disperse them more throughout our algorithm.
What about those with mental health issues? Are they given more distressing content?
If a user searches, words that expresses mental health issues, we actually redirect them to a safety page. Like, for example, if you, I don't know if I should say this in public, if you search, I want to die, we will redirect you to a safety page, for example.
So what about those suffering from addiction? Are they given more distressing content?
I'm sorry, Congressman, I missed that question.
Those suffering from addiction, are they given more distressing content?
I missed the first few words. I apologize.
What about those suffering from addiction? Are they given more distressing content?
Those suffering from
addiction.
Do you mean drug addiction or?
Yes, or any order of addiction.
Oh. If people search for content, and you can try on a variety of subjects, we will actually direct you to a safety page to give you more resources. And a lot of recovering addicts have actually found the communities on TikTok, and it's really helped them, find their voices and the community and the courage to really overcome their addiction. I personally have heard stories of that.
I appreciate your answers, but I was looking for yes or no, and we did not get those. And again, I think the more that they watch this distressing content, the more profit TikTok makes, and that's distressing.
Gentleman yields back. Chair recognizes the gentleman from Michigan, Mr. Wahlberg, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and glad that you're here, Mr. Chew.
As Chair Rogers and Representative Burgess mentioned this morning, the Wall Street Journal reported that China will firmly oppose any forced sale or divestiture of TikTok. And this is based not on conjecture, but it's based on comments provided by the official spokesperson at the Ministry of Commerce, who said that any TikTok sale or spinoff would amount to a technology export and would have to adhere to Chinese law and approval. This spokesperson was quoted as saying that Chinese, and I quote, "the Chinese government will make decisions according to the law."
The Chinese government. Mr. Chew, do you agree with this official? Yes or no?
Congressman, I cannot speak on behalf of the Chinese government official.
Do you agree with that official?
We will need to look at this because Project Texas is designed to move forward here in the United States, and we are not discussing this, so I don't have specifics.
Your company is valued at upwards of $50 billion and has been on the verge of forced sale or ban for 3 years at least, correct?
Do you expect this committee to believe you haven't already discussed this scenario with your team? And you should have an answer to this, yes or no, I agree with the Communist Party, or I don't agree with the Communist Party. So,
I guess I would say at that point, you disagree with the Communist Party. Explain your test is just something expanded for the future. We're talking about now. We're talking about what you're doing now, what your expectations are now, what your relationship is with the Communist Party, which is our major concern of what the impact that will be with a country. Let me rephrase that. With a Communist Party that doesn't care about America and sees us as standing in their way for superpower. That's our concern, and for you to have direct relationship, direct ownership with ByteDance, and to not have a characterization or an agreement or disagreement that you say explicitly with this hardy policy, it's hard for us to believe what you're saying. Let me move on. Following up on what Mr. Latta asked about data access by Chinese engineers.
In responding to Mr. Latta, you talked about where American user data would be stored in the future.
But the question was about access today. Storage in the future versus access today. This is direction. This blows up any trust we could desire to develop. So to be clear, Mr. Chew, today, do ByteDance employees in Beijing have access to American data?
Congressman, we have been very open about this. We have relied on global interoperability.
You have access to American data.
Congressman, I'm answering your question if you give me just a bit of time. We rely on global interoperability, and we have employees in China. So yes, the Chinese engineers do have access to global data.
Have access to global data,
We have heard.
not storage.
No, storage has always been in Virginia and Singapore. The physical service.
You have no access to storage, to American data today.
That's not what I said. I said
So you do have access to American data, and you have storage of American data.
the American data has always been stored in Virginia and Singapore in the past. And access of this is on an as-required basis by
As
our
required
engineers
of who?
globally, by engineers for business purposes. This is a
Engineers,
private company.
ByteDance,
ByteDance,
the Communist Party.
no.
Why? How can you say that?
This is a
If
this
they
is
have
a private
access.
business. This is a private business, and like many other businesses, many other American companies, we rely on the global workforce.
So the global workforce that includes ByteDance, which is connected directly to the Chinese Communist Party.
That is
Has
a
access.
characterization that we disagree with. Now, in the future,
That's not what we can disagree with. That's a fact
it's not,
for
unfortunately.
the CEO of ByteDance and your
It is
relationship to them.
Congressman, respectfully, in my opening statement, I said this is a private company. It's owned 60% by global investors. 3 out of the 5 board members of ByteDance are Americans. This is a private business.
You report directly to ByteDance with a CEO who is a member of the Communist Party. Let me move on.
He's
I think
not.
I think we got the answer. Sadly, at this point, I believe my time has expired, so I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Chair recognizes Ms. Clark for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chairwoman Rogers. Thank the ranking member Malone for holding today's hearing. Throughout this hearing, I also want to thank our witness for being here to testify on what are very important issues before us today. Throughout this hearing, my colleagues have outlined the potential threat posed by the security of Americans' data by TikTok being affiliated and some would say owned by a Chinese company. Foreign adversaries having direct access to Americans' data, as well as the ability to influence this content Americans see on a prolific social media platform, represents an unprecedented threat to American security and to our democracy. However, the problems of social media platforms, content moderation, algorithmic discrimination, and safety are neither new nor unique to TikTok. Mr. Chew, I share the concerns raised by my colleague, Congresswoman Matsui, related to algorithms. I believe that without mitigation against bias, platforms will continue to replicate, exacerbate discrimination that is illegal under civil rights law, as well as exclude important dialogue about sensitive topics like race from occurring on the platform. For example, I was disturbed by reports that TikTok content moderation algorithm flagged words like black or Black Lives Matter as inappropriate content. My first question, Mr. Chew, is do you agree that platforms like TikTok should be subject to regular audits or transparency requirements to identify what policies have a disparate impact on communities that are protected classes, like race, religion, national origin, or gender?
I think, Congresswoman, that I think platforms should be very transparent on what they do there and disclose a lot of information. We can get back on the specifics of what we mean by an audit, but I do agree very strongly that platforms should be very transparent, and it's a commitment that we're giving to this committee and all our users that our platform will be a place of freedom of expression. We embrace all diverse points of view, all ethnic minorities. You can come and say whatever you want, as long as you don't violate the rules of safety that were put in place. And we also commit to be free of all and any government manipulation. So I think I'm in strong agreement with a lot of what you said.
Well, thank you. My bill, the Algorithmic Accountability Act, would require platforms to be transparent about their algorithms, measure disparate impact, and require risk mitigation. It is vital that the diverse culture of the United States is reflected online, but I'm concerned the algorithms and content moderation practices employed by TikTok are ignorant to the fundamental diversity while also failing to remove content that is harmful, like child sexual abuse material, hate speech, or domestic terrorism content. My next question to you is, it's my understanding that users must be in good standing to be eligible for compensation from TikTok's Creator Fund. For example, they can't have violated community guidelines. Is this correct?
There are some details there, but directionally, yes.
If TikTok's algorithm is flagging content incorrectly, resulting in creators violating community guidelines when in fact they have not, those creators would not be eligible to receive compensation under the Creator Fund, correct?
We do have an appeals process.
You have an appeals process, okay.
Yes.
In my view, if TikTok employs algorithms that disproportionately remove content from Black creators, it disproportionately silences and excludes Black creators from compensation opportunities. And this problem happens in parallel to the lack of adequate recognition, attribution, and compensation to Black creators for their content. The exploitation, cultural misappropriation, the erasure of Black creatives' ownership of their fashion, art, and media is nothing new. We need transparency, accountability, and bold action to mitigate against misinformation, bias, and exclusion of certain communities from the opportunities present on platforms like TikTok. So let me just say this. I'm concerned about transparency. I am concerned about algorithmic accountability. And I'm not clear that your organization holds those values. So I want to ask that you take a look at this because this is all part and parcel of what we're concerned about with respect to social media platforms and the misappropriation, the ways in which those algorithms can discriminate within the context of the social media platform. With that, Madam Chair, I yield back.
Congresswoman, is it okay if I just very quickly respond? This is a very important topic.
Unfortunately, we only have 4.5 hours with you, and I'm gonna try to get to everybody, so we're gonna keep going.
It is very important. I would love to follow.
Well, there will be other opportunities. The lady yields back. Gentleman from Georgia, Mr. Buddy Carter, is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Crew, welcome to the most bipartisan committee in Congress. We may not always agree on how to get there, but we care about our national security. We care about our economy, and we sure as heck care about our children. We sure do. And that's why you're here today, because 2/3 of all the youth in our country are on your app. They spend an average of 95 minutes on your app. And you know, research has shown that TikTok is the most addictive platform out there. And the reason for that, as we've been told, is because it has the most advanced algorithm. And the Chinese Communist Party knows this, and I don't speak for everyone, but there are those on this committee, including myself, who believe that the Chinese Communist Party is engaged in psychological warfare through TikTok to deliberately influence U.S. children. You know, you see behind me, if if you look behind me, Mr. Crew, you see some of the challenges that we've seen on TikTok. You know about them. You know about the milk crate. You know about the blackout challenge. You know about the NyQuil chicken challenge, the Benadryl challenge, the Dragon's Breath liquid nitrogen trend, or the challenge that promotes car theft. I want to ask you, as I understand it, there's a sister app in China, Douyin. I'm sorry if I'm butchering the pronunciation. Do they have these same things over there? Do they have these kind of challenges in China?
Congressman, I'm really glad you asked this question. Yeah.
Do they? Yes or no?
I'm not sure because
Yeah. Whoa, come on now. You're not sure.
I really am not sure.
Remember, you two. The chair lady, she said you got to tell the truth. Okay. Do you know whether they have these kind of challenges like this over in China? Because it's my understanding they don't.
I'm not sure because I spend my energies running TikTok.
And you don't look at any of your other competitors or look at anything similar to yours. So you don't know whether they don't have this over in China.
I did.
We have it here, but they don't have it here. And that's why I'm asking you this. Why is it that TikTok consistently fails to identify and moderate these kinds of harmful videos? Why is it? Why is it that you allow this to go on? We've already heard, God bless you, from parents who are here with us, who have lost children. I submit to you, everybody up here cares about the children of this country. Tell me why.
This is a real industry challenge, and we're working
No, it's
very
not
hard.
industry. This is TikTok.
It's
We're talking about TikTok.
This guy's not letting him speak. Guys, I don't understand why.
And although I believe in giving credit where credit's due, I want to thank you. It's my understanding that the video.
Ms. Carter George from Georgia,
been removed. Thank you for doing that. Sorry.
he's talking out of his booty, guys.
But it's been removed. Tell me why this goes on.
This is an industry challenge for all of us here operating in this.
Okay, so much for industry travel. I want to shift gears real quick. I want to talk about biometric matrix, and I want to talk specifically. Can you tell me? Right
Smash that like and subscribe, guys, if you're brand new to my channel. Thank you for watching, guys.
To determine whether the content that elicits a pupil dilation should be amplified by the algorithm. Can you tell me that?
We do not collect body, face, or voice data to identify our users. We do not. The only face data that you get that we collect is when you use the filters to have, say, sunglasses on your face. We need to know where your eyes are.
Why do you need to know what the eyes are? They're not seeing if they're dilated?
And that data is stored on your local device and deleted after use if you use it for facial. Again, we do not collect body, face, or voice data to identify our users.
I find that hard to believe. It's our understanding that they're looking at the eyes. How do you determine what age they are then?
We rely on age gating as a key age assurance.
Age
gating, which is when you ask the user what age they are. We have also developed some tools where we look at their public profile to go through the videos that they post to see whether
that's creepy. Tell me more about that.
It's public. So if you post a video you choose that video to go public, that's how you get people to see your video. We look at those to see if it matches up the age that you talked about. Now, this is a real challenge for our industry because privacy versus age assurance is a really big problem.
Look, you keep talking about the industry. We're talking about TikTok here. We're talking about children dying. Do you know how many children have died because of this? Do you have any idea? Can you tell me?
Congressman, again, it's heartbreaking.
Can you tell me how many children in America have died because of challenges like this?
The majority of people who use our platform use it for positive experiences.
And that's not what I asked you. I asked you, tell me the number of children, of U.S. children who have died because of these challenges.
Congressman, again, the majority of people who come on our platform get a good
I'm not talking about the majority of children. I want to know a number.
Dangerous challenges are not allowed on our platform. If we find them, we will remove them. We take this very seriously.
Obviously, you found one today and you removed it. We had to bring it to your attention, and I know I'm out of time. Thank you for being here. Welcome again to the most bipartisan.
Guys, what a butthole.
Gentleman yields back. We will now take a brief recess and.
I just want to talk about this idiot, but he keeps saying about safety of the kids. Okay, but the only thing is what TikTok does They removed the stuff.
We think engaged citizens are welcome.
So it doesn't matter if it's the Chinese kids or us
I
Americans.
do want to remind the guests in the audience that the chair is obliged under the House rules and the rules of the committee to maintain order and preserve decorum in the committee room.
Guys, let's put it together. Let's blow up this, blow up TikTok and have it blow up.
But I ask that we abide by these rules and be respectful of our audience members, our viewers, and our witnesses. The chair appreciates.
He's sitting here fighting for us.
We have a full discussion on these important issues. The chair recognizes herself for 5 minutes for an opening statement. Mr. Chew, you are here because the American people need the truth about the threat TikTok poses to our national and personal security. TikTok collects nearly every data point imaginable, from people's location to what they type and copy, who they talk to, biometric data, and more. Even if they've never been on TikTok, your trackers are embedded in sites across the web. TikTok surveils us all. And the Chinese Communist Party is able to use this as a tool to manipulate America as a whole. We do not trust TikTok will ever embrace American values. Values for freedom, human rights, and innovation. TikTok has repeatedly chosen the path for more control, more surveillance, and more manipulation. Your platform should be banned. I expect today you'll say anything to avoid this outcome. You are 100% responsible for what TikTok does. That you suddenly endorse a national data privacy standard. Or that your ties to the Chinese Communist Party through Biden are just a myth. We aren't buying it. In fact, when you celebrate the 150 million American users on TikTok, it emphasizes the urgency for Congress to act. That is 150 million Americans that CCP can collect sensitive information on and control what we ultimately see, hear, and believe. TikTok has repeatedly been caught in the lie that it does not answer to the CCP through ByteDance. Today, the CCP's laws require Chinese companies like ByteDance to spy on their behalf. That means any Chinese company must grant a feature. Right now, ByteDance is under investigation by the DOA for surveilling American journalists, both digital activity and physical movements. We know that many of your employees still report directly to Beijing. Internal recordings reveal there is a backdoor for China to access user data across the platform.
Really, I don't understand, guys.
Employees said, quote,
We are not backing down.
"Seen in China."
You guys got another thing coming, Congress.
TikTok and ByteDance can do the bidding of the CCP.
You're gonna start a war. War is on.
And people. China wants the world to forget. It's even censored an American teenager who exposed CCP's genocide and torture of Uyghur Muslims. The facts show that ByteDance is beholden to the CCP. ByteDance and TikTok are one and the same. TikTok also targets our children. The For You algorithm is a tool for TikTok. Suicide, self-harm, and eating disorders to children. It encourages challenges for them to put their lives in danger. It allows adults to prey on our beautiful, beloved daughters. It's also a portal for drug dealers to sell illicit fentanyl that China has, yet is helping Mexican cartels produce, send across our border, and poison our children. In China, the CCP proactively prohibits this type
That's a lie.
content.
I never seen no drugs or alcohol on this platform.
From the data it collects to the content it controls, TikTok is a grave threat of foreign influence in American life. It's been said it's like allowing the Soviet Union the power to produce Saturday morning cartoons during the Cold War, but much more powerful and much more dangerous. Banning your platform will address the immediate threats. Make no mistake, this committee is also looking to the future. America needs to be prepared to stop the next technological tool or weapon China will use for its own strategic gain. We must prevent any app, website, and platform like TikTok from ever spying on Americans again. and we must provide the strongest protections possible for our children. That is why this committee is leading on a national privacy and data security standard. It restricts sensitive American data from reaching our adversaries to begin with, and what big tech and data brokers collect, process, store, and sell. It makes it illegal for any platform to track and target children under 17. Mr. Chew, the committee has requested that
The only way you sign up, you have to have an ID,
for those we serve,
dumbass.
we're glad the day has finally come. Today, the world is watching.
It's an adults platform now.
The Chinese Communist Party is watching.
I don't see no kids on
The
it.
answers you owe are to the American people.
No, some, but not all.
Who cherish their God-given, unalienable rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness for all. They deserve the truth. Complete honesty is the standard and the law you are being held to before this committee, as we seek to get answers and a full understanding of what happens at TikTok under your watch. Chair now recognizes the ranking member, Mr. Plum, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and let me say that I agree with much of what you just said, and I certainly appreciate your enthusiasm and your commenting on being a mother and concerned about children, and I am glad that we are having this hearing today. Big tech has transformed the information superhighway into a super spreader of harmful content, invasive surveillance practices, and addictive and damaging design features. Data is big tech's most valuable commodity, and by collecting far more user data than they need, big tech platforms can use, share, and sell information to generate billions of dollars in revenue. Today, the American people are powerless to stop this invasion of their privacy, and we can't wait any longer to pass comprehensive national privacy legislation that puts people back in control of their data. We must hold big tech accountable for its actions, and transparency is critical to that accountability. In the past several Congresses, this committee has heard from senior executives of other social media platforms about troubling and repeated instances where they put profits over people. Now, today we intend to bring more transparency to TikTok, which is controlled by its Beijing communist-based parent company, ByteDance. And while TikTok videos provide a new fun way for people to express their creativity and enjoy the videos of others, the platform also threatens the health, privacy, and security of the American people. And I'm not convinced that the benefits outweigh the risks that it poses to Americans in its present form. More than 130 million people in the United States use TikTok every month, including 2/3 of American teenagers. TikTok collects and compiles vast troves of valuable personal information to create an addictive algorithm that is able to predict with uncanny accuracy which videos will keep users scrolling, even if the content is harmful, inaccurate, or feeds destructive behavior or extremist beliefs. Now, the combination of TikTok's Beijing communist-based China ownership and its popularity exacerbates its danger to our country and to our privacy. The Chinese Communist government can compel companies based in Beijing, like TikTok, to share data with the Communist government through existing Beijing law or coercion. National security experts are sounding the alarm, warning that device security maliciously access American user data, promote pro-communist propaganda, and undermine American interests. Disinformation campaigns could be launched by the Chinese Communist government through TikTok, which has already become rife with misinformation and disinformation, illegal activities, and hate speech. A recent report found that 20% of TikTok search results on prominent news topics contain misinformation. Social media's profitability depends on growth and engagement. More eyes on their content for longer time leads to more advertising dollars and revenue generation. Addictive algorithms are fine-tuned to optimize growth and engagement without necessarily taking into account potential harms to users. Children and teens are particularly vulnerable. Frequent online use of interactive media on digital devices is associated with increased levels of depression among middle and high school students. Research has found that TikTok's addictive algorithms recommend videos to teens that create and exacerbate feelings of emotional distress, including videos promoting suicide, self-harm, and eating disorders. Public outrage and hollow apologies alone are not going to rein in big tech.
Congress has to enact laws protecting the American public from such online harms. And we simply cannot wait any longer to pass the comprehensive privacy legislation that I authored with then ranking member, now Chair Rogers, last Congress, that overwhelmingly advanced out of the committee. It ensures that companies, wherever they live, it ensures, I should say, that consumers, wherever they live in this country, will have meaningful control over their personal information. Our legislation establishes baseline data minimization requirements, ensuring that companies only collect, process, and transfer data necessary to provide a service. The liability shield platforms. So I hope we can find a bipartisan path forward on that issue too. And I think you're having a hearing next week on it. So we can stop the very real harm to the country and proceed under the current law. I look forward to the discussion today as we continue to bring accountability to big tech. And let me say to Mr. Chew, I know this is, I am with all my attention, not only on TikTok, but on these concerns. Thank you again, Madam Chair, for having this very.
Witness today is Mr. Shou Zi Chew, Executive Officer of TikTok, recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you. Chair Rogers, Ranking Member Pallone, members of the committee, thank you for your time. I am Shou Chew, and I'm from Singapore. That's where I was born, that's where my parents. And after serving in Singapore's military, I moved to the UK to attend college, and then here to the US to attend business school. I actually met my wife here. By the way, she was just born a few miles away from here in